thanks for stopping by. I'm Chris Kotur. I'm Leader in Residence at Leadership Victoria, and we are halfway through yet another year. And the work that I've been doing with organisations like yours and people like you, I guess has me thinking that it's shaping up in my mind to be what we used to call emergency management, but now it's just management. In other words, we're all enduring changes that we didn't ask for, that we weren't prepared for, and that we're not necessarily very good at adapting to. But I'm going to encourage you to think about less around endurance, but more around adaptation, and maybe just give you 3 quick insights into what I'm picking up as I work my way around the state, and just see some signs of what's perhaps working well and pass those on. So the first thing that I'll be getting to notice is that I really hope that, because this is affecting me too, I really hope that you watch out for your own well-being, because vicarious trauma is a very, very real thing. In other words, even if you're not directly affected, though certainly if you have been, the changes that are brought about by a rolling series of hard-hitting changes, like slow-moving changes, like years of drought, or a summer of fires, or a pandemic that we don't seem to be able to tame and seems to be smarter than us on occasions, seems to outrun our best efforts to get on top of it. Never mind storms, never mind damage from weather that's usually our friend but isn't at the moment. So just be watchful for the slow build-up of negative experiences in the community and the groups that you work with that are undergoing deep distress. Because you might feel that you're okay, and I hope that that's the case, but picking up on other people's distress in small doses will actually accumulate and affect your own ability to be resilient. The second point's really quite difficult to say, because I think what we need to do is to face the very raw and painful reality that we're going to be living with uncertainty, as in perhaps forever. In other words, there's no quick change, and if we keep looking backward, waiting for a return to normal or business as usual, I think that that's probably going to be a folly and might in fact retard our efforts to adapt. So we all live in a plump and peaceful Australia, but there's no such thing as zero risk. So adapting to uncertainty is going to be really, really important, and it's a challenge for all of us who think about leadership. And my advice is that because of the scale and the size of potential change, that we look for some small, easy, observable steps that have us move away from thinking about endurance and into adaptation. And here's a couple of what I think are some small, relatively easy and observable steps. In some organisations, there's been a real retreat from strategic planning, while boards and committees and groups of people say, no, well, hang on, we'll just wait for certainty and then we'll be much clearer and then we can get going. Can I encourage you to keep moving and to keep planning? And my advice, given the reality of the situation, is to hold those plans fairly loosely. In other words, get the architecture in place. Don't wait. But by holding the plans loosely, you do create opportunities for adaptation rather than endurance. So holding the plans loosely is, I think, really important, and increasing the tempo around the number of times and, well, the frequency that you apply to review plans. People used to come up with strategic plans that were 3 to 5 years out. I'm working with organisations now where a light touch, quick health check and review and possible adjustments are taking place almost every quarter. So that's a much more dynamic process than the episodic strategic planning that we were once used to. And then I think that there are some good, quick, short moves that are really part of our Leadership Victoria culture and what we aim to do. I think that mentoring is incredibly important, both to be a mentor and to take on a mentor. I think it'd be a fabulous opportunity to support a scholarship into LV programs, if that's something practical. You'll realise that many of our participants who would value what we do in our programs don't get a chance to do that because there's a blockage or maybe a financial impediment. It'd be fantastic to move that out of the way and have more people come into our programs that way. I think another thing to do is to spread positive stories, and there's plenty of those in Leadership Victoria and all the programs that we've conducted or been part of, and I think we should do that. We've got them at fingertips, and that might actually mute the drumbeat of negativity that we get on news every single day, and those bad stories of yet here's another thing to be afraid of or feel unsafe because this isn't predictable anymore. It's just like rat poison to resilience. So let's try to get as many positive stories around as we possibly can. And the last thing is that I hope that this is probably a simple thing, and it's what we sign up for when we're part of Leadership Victoria, and that is that we answer the call. And I hope that what you could do is reach out to at least one other Leadership Victoria participant, a current program or part of the alumni, maybe somebody that you don't know or know well or spend much time with, and check in on them. Important reasons for that. One is to stay connected, and remember that what we get from Leadership Vic programs is the opportunity to learn from people from really diverse backgrounds who might not be seeing the world the way we do or sharing the experiences that we share. So let's make that happen. And it's also an opportunity to give and receive energy. And when we're feeling really flat, that's quite a hard thing to develop on our own. So reaching out to at least one other LV person's incredibly important. And you might be able to offer some laughter or some fun, and that's a true gift in the times that we're living in now. So don't hold back if that's an opportunity. And I think it's great to just share learning. Just think about the word adaptation versus endurance. And I used to, when I was part of LV programs, would always keep a journal because it was my record of a journey that I would keep dipping back into. And when I needed reminding, there it was. And so sounds a bit old-fashioned, but it is really a very vital way to keep that learning alive. I guess finally, we're all experiencing circumstances where we probably need to be much more generous and kind and thoughtful than any of us ever believed was going to be natural. And the reason for that is because I hope that you share the ambition that we can adapt safely and quickly and really well. And I think that adaptation is much, much more realistic and much better than endurance. And please reach out to us if we can help and support you in any way to do just that. Thanks for listening to me, and I'm sure that I'll catch you the next time around.